Hey guys, how's it going? How's life? My name is Yavian Johnson and I'm bringing y'all another video. Okay, so I've been wanting to do this video for a long time, but I never sat down or stood up to do the video. So I'm gonna do it now, okay? I've gone through a lot of the things that I had a dent in, like a major dent in already, like they're already in the empties, which I'm gonna show you guys again toward the end of the year when I do like all of the perfumes and the body mist I completed during the year of 2025. But I am almost done with one perfume and I was thinking to myself, before I finish this perfume, since it still has liquid in it, let me go ahead and show a perfume dents video. So if you want to see that and see some of the perfumes that I have in my collection that are well used or at least have a decent amount of juice taken out of it, stay tuned and keep on watching. Okay guys, so I have quite a bit of perfumes to show you guys. Not too many, probably no more than 20, but I for sure have more than 10. Okay, so here is the bottle that I wanted to show you guys that inspired me to go ahead and do this video, because I'm almost done with it and I plan on getting through with it by the end of this week. So if you see it to the side, I barely have anything in there. Well, I do have enough. I have probably like enough for a good amount of wears. This smells strong, like in the atomizer, but honestly, this perfume is like body spray. Like I'll put it on and then maybe like 15 minutes later, I don't really smell it anymore. Okay. So I wouldn't purchase the Vida Cool Water again because of the fact of its lasting power. And I do feel as though on the atomizer, on this one in particular, the metallic smell sometimes like interrupts my nose when I'm smelling the actual fragrance. So I have to actually spray it out to get what I'm trying to smell, because it kind of gives me the metallicness of the atomizer for some reason. I don't know if it's because of it being an aquatic scent, but yeah. I'm actually surprised that this fragrance, like I said, this is the original fragrance. I'm actually surprised that this fragrance is advertised as a woman's fragrance, because honestly and truly, it smells very much so unisex, but I know for a fact that they actually have a regular Davidoff fragrance like that's called Cool Water as well for men. So I'm interested to see how that one smells. But would I repurchase this one again? The actual bottle, no, because it doesn't last long. And also it's kind of hard to spray out after a while. Like honestly, period. Like when my hands aren't greasy, it's cool. But like if I have oil or if I have moisturizer on it, then I'm just steady slipping and sliding off the bottle, girl. And no one has time for that. But this is where I am. I do plan on finishing it this week. And this is probably my biggest dent currently. So I have this fragrance from Ariana Grande, and this is the God is a Woman perfume. I end up asking my mom to get this for me for a Christmas, maybe a couple of years ago. The first year that it came out, it sold out. So I end up putting it on my Christmas list again the next year, and I end up getting it. So this is the perfume that I told you guys smelled like the Bath and Body Works Emerald Mist. I believe also Sol de Janeiro came out with a fragrance called Carioca Crush, and people said that it smelled similar. I haven't really used my Carioca Crush from Sol de Janeiro, so I can't really tell you guys if that's true or not. But yeah, this isn't my favorite fragrance, and this has pear, and I've learned that I like pear notes, but in this one, it just doesn't do it for me. I like it, but I don't love it. So I wouldn't repurchase this one again once I'm done with it. Especially with me having that Carioca Crush, I'll still kind of have the same scent profile. Some people have also compared this to smelling like the Clean Reserve Sparkling Sugar or Radiant Sugar or Radiant Nectar. Something, girl. One of those is supposed to smell similar to this one as well. Also, I end up getting a dupe, not a dupe. I end up getting a sample from, let me just get it. When I made a Ellis Brooklyn purchased a little bit like mid-year. And I ended up getting Miami Nectar as well as Guava Granita. I ended up getting a sample, and that was of sweet, because I was intrigued by the pear note that was in there. And this one basically has notes of juicy pear, cozy amberette, and playful marshmallow. And I think when I looked up the notes of the God is a Woman, which I'm not going to put any notes on the screen, so you guys are going to have to look it up on Fragrantica and figure it out yourself if you guys are interested. But last time I checked, I believe this has amberette as well as pear in it. I know for sure it has pear, but I think it has amberette in it as well. And I believe those two notes is what makes both of these smell very similar. So if you have Sweet by Ellis Brooklyn, you don't need this one. Unless you just really like it, girl, by all means. So as y'all can see, this is where I am with this dent. This is a pretty decent dent. Probably not going to finish it this year. I know I'm not going to finish it this year, but next year, this shouldn't be in here longer than 2026, honestly. This is a Middle Eastern fragrance, and this is from Latafa, and this is the original Mayar, okay? So this fragrance, I believe it's supposed to be a dupe of Angel Nova. Never smelled that fragrance, so I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think people were saying that they thought this smelled like My Way in the very beginning when this first became popular, but I've had a small version of My Way, as well as my mom has it downstairs. And I know for a fact that this one does not smell like My Way to me. So I'll just go with the Angel Nova. Like I said, I haven't smelled that one, but here you can see that this is where I am. This is where I am when I hold the bottle this way. And then when I turn it upside down, this is how much it looks like I have. Okay. So I have quite a bit of this. This is kind of like a fruity, musky floral. So if you like fruity florals with musk in it, then you'll probably like this. That's just how I would describe it. Like I said, I'm not a person who like knows a lot about perfumes. I just know I like to smell good. Okay. So yeah, I like this fragrance. Do I love it? No. But would I pick up this again? Maybe in the future, but not immediately after I have completed this. Okay, so we have the Sofia fragrance by Sofia Vergara. Okay, and this is the dent that I have in this fragrance. Okay, so I've had this fragrance. This is probably before I even start really building my collection, especially before I got my Middle Eastern fragrances, which kind of like skyrocketed like my collection like crazy. This is one of the fragrances that I've been working through. This is supposed to smell like similar to, I think, what is it? Coco Mademoiselle. I think a lot of people say that this smells similar to Coco Mademoiselle. I wouldn't say that this is a direct dupe. I will say that it smells similar, but I've also heard people say that it smells like a little bit masculine, and I can kind of get that a little bit like when I smell it right here on the atomizer. However, I do feel like it does lean like it could be very similar to that Coco Mademoiselle DNA, in my opinion, but with a different take. I do feel as though if you have Coco Mademoiselle, if you want to try this out, you may like it. Don't count on my words. Okay. You have to smell it yourself, but honestly, you can't smell this yourself because I think I bought this. I think I picked this one up off of Fragrance Net, but I think the only other place that I've seen it is probably Burlington. And usually those boxes are closed. So yeah, I do like this fragrance, but I wouldn't repurchase this fragrance though. Okay. Sometimes it seems like I am spraying a lot, but the bottle, like how much juice I have is not moving. Okay. Cause I feel like I should have more of this done, especially for how long I've had it, but it's still there. Girl, it's still there. But here you go. Once again, this is what my dent is looking like. Okay, guys, so we're going to eventually start getting into like things that don't have like a huge dent, but it's a decent enough dent that I felt comfortable in putting this in the video, okay? And I also want to say all these fragrances that I have a dent in is nothing compared to the ones that I don't have a dent in. So I am going to concentrate on my own collection rather than like buying more and more perfume next year, okay? I will say that I may like tell you guys that I've bought 2 fragrances for Viva More, and I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys towards the end of this video. So if you guys want to see that, stay tuned. Of course, it is what it is. So we have this fragrance. This is another Middle Eastern fragrance. And this is Turab Al Dahab. I don't know how to say it, okay? But this is the dent. This kind of smells like a coconutty baby powder scent, if that makes sense. Like I remember spraying it. Like I usually wear this. I think I wore this when I did my baby powder routine. But I remember the first time that I wore this, I wore it during summertime because I didn't know how I felt about it, because it low-key kind of reminded me of like outside a little bit. And I remember spraying it, and then I was like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought it was when I first sprayed it. But my mom ended up smelling it like in the wind, and she said, you smell like you have like powder on, like some type of baby powder on. So yeah, I get that as well. So I do like this fragrance. I don't have anything else in my collection that smells like this, or anything in my collection that I can compare it to. You probably would have to go on Fragrantica to see if it's comparable to something, but I just know that this is the only thing that smells like this in my collection, okay? So once again, this is what the dent looks like. This is what it looks like when it's this way. Not my biggest dent, but I've used it a couple times. Okay, so we have my Dossier fragrance, and this is Floral Lavender. Floral Lavender is supposed to be a dupe of YSL Libre. And at first I wasn't sure how I felt about this fragrance, but I actually like this fragrance, okay? So I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to buy the original YSL Libre. I recently got the YSL Libre limited edition flanker, Vanilla Couture. And I believe they have a Middle Eastern dupe from Lattafa, from the Lattafa's Pride collection, that I've been interested in getting. I think people compare that to the Libre Intense. But I've noticed that with the Libre fragrances, I would have to like really put them side by side, because for some reason, these fragrances smell the exact same. Like I end up getting my Vanilla Couture, the limited edition Libre, and I was like, okay, what am I supposed to be? What's different? And I'll look at people's videos and everybody is saying, oh my gosh, has this, and this. And I'm like, girl, I'm not smelling it. But yeah, I didn't put it on my skin, so maybe it smells differently on my skin. But I'm just letting y'all know, okay? Like I said, I am not a connoisseur of perfumes. I just like to smell good, right? But it has to make sense. So I'm not going to have 15 million Libre flankers, because low-key they smell similar to me. But my nose isn't as trained as I would like it to be. So yeah, this is a dupe of this fragrance. This is when, before I even got into my Middle Eastern fragrances, I was getting like dupes. I got some dupes from Okja. I got some dupes from Dossier. I got a couple dupes, okay? So here is where I am with this fragrance. I've completed like 2 or 3 other Dossier fragrances. That's one of the reasons why I was telling myself, girl, if you don't go ahead and record this video, you're going to be done with all the things that you have, all of the things you have dents in. And it's only going to be like 2 fragrances, okay? So I just went ahead and decided to show you guys this. This is a 1.7 fluid ounce or 50 milliliters. So I don't know if that matters to you, but some of y'all don't even have dents like this. So, I mean, a win's a win. Okay, so this is another fragrance that I kind of got off of Fragrance Net, and it was originally when I was, okay, I just checked to see if I had like that white cast around my mouth, and I did. So I don't know how long that was there, but I fixed it. So it's not going to be on there for the rest of the video, okay? So I have this Velour for Her, or Valor. Is it Velour or Valor? I think, no. Velour is spelled completely different. This is Valor for Her, and this is by Dana Perfumes or Parfums. Girl, this is by Dana Classic Fragrances. Okay, so how I came across this fragrance is I just happened to be on Fragrance Net and I was just scrolling, and I saw this thing for $9.99. And I said $9.99, and I checked the notes, and I think the notes only had like 3 notes or something, and it had pineapple. And I said, I don't have a pineapple fragrance. Don't know if it's going to be straight up pineapple, because at that time I was just getting into fragrances and realizing that just because something has a fruit that I like doesn't mean it's going to smell like the fruit that I like. Okay. And this one doesn't really smell like pineapple. I'm not going to lie to you. It smells like it could have pineapple, but it doesn't. Yeah, it smells like it could have pineapple, but it's not a pineapple forward fragrance. Okay. So this is where I am with this fragrance. Not the biggest dent, but it's good enough. Okay, so guys, I think you guys are able to see this, but I am right here with this fragrance, okay? So I have a pretty decent dent. This is one of those fragrances that I was like, oh, I really like this fragrance. Let me slow down. And I don't know why I did that, because I need to speed back up, okay? Because I have too many fragrances now, so it doesn't make sense for me to have, like, it doesn't make sense for me to like, hold on to fragrances, especially when it's fragrances that are not like discontinued. I can pick this one up again. So yeah, I'll be working on this next year for sure. I believe, what was this fragrance that I was like pairing this with? I was pairing this with the Jimmy Choo Fever perfume oil. I had a little perfume oil that you can get like from a hair store or from like somebody who sells perfume oils, and the mixture together smells good. That was my very first layering combo, and I was like, oh, I actually probably can get into this layering stuff. And now I'm layering galore. Okay, I'm not gonna call myself the layering queen. I'm not gonna call myself the layering queen, because I'm not at all. But I be coming up with some combinations. The only thing is I forget about them as soon as I come up with them if I don't write them down. Okay. So this one is right here. I do like this fragrance, and I would pick this one up again if I'm done with it. I also have this fragrance. This is Burberry Brit for Her. Okay. So I wanted it really because of the bottle. But this is kind of like a coconut limey type fragrance. Like, if that makes sense. Like, it has like, no, it's not coconut and lime. I apologize. That's not what I meant. It's like bitter almond and like lime. That's kind of like what I get. Like bitter almond and lime. I don't hate this fragrance. And I feel like this is one of those fragrances that's kind of powdery as well. Not baby powder, but like it will go well with a baby powder routine. Okay. But I do enjoy this fragrance. It's not a fragrance that I pick up a lot, but yeah, I could pick it up a little bit more, especially once fall hits, because I feel like this is more of a fall-esque perfume, but I don't feel as though like it's heavy to where it can't go year round. Okay. So this is where I am with this dent. If I put it this way, I don't know if that's better, but yeah. Okay, we have the Good Scent, and I've realized that the Good Scent from TJ Maxx Marshalls, I really enjoy their fragrances. Okay, if I'm gonna pick up anything from TJ Maxx, it's gonna be the Good Scent. Okay, and this is Cozy Cashmere. I believe that this is my favorite one. Honestly, I just got one not too long ago, and it was called Do Not Disturb. And it had a bunch of notes, and I get scared when it has like dragon fruit and stuff like that, because I automatically think that it's going to smell like the Cherosa 67 or something like that. And that one smells like I could be saying the wrong number, but that one smells like the Baccarat Rouge like DNA, has that Baccarat Rouge DNA, and I don't want that. Okay, the same with the one that smelled like the Cherosa 67 or whatever number it was from Bath and Body Works. I was just like, girl, I don't want 15 million Baccarat Rouge dupes. So I really just bought that one and didn't smell it until I got home and just hoped for the best, and it was good. But I don't have that one in this video, so I don't know why I'm talking about it for so long. But let's continue, okay? So this is where I am with this fragrance. Like I said, this is my favorite one from the Good Scent ones that I have. This was back when it used to be $12.99, and it's not $12.99 anymore. I think their fragrances are now retailing for like $14.99 or $16.99. I believe $16.99. Okay. So yeah, let me also turn it this way so y'all can see where I am. It's like a powdery fragrance that has like brightness at the top from like the citruses, and then it's kind of like mellowed out. I feel like it looks like I would put on like a cozy sweater, which makes sense because it literally says cozy cashmere. But I do really enjoy the fragrance. For the most part, it has that citrus top, then it has like maybe a couple more fruits, but mainly florals. And then it kind of gives you that suede mellowed out with like vanilla or like tonka bean, something like that at the bottom to kind of like make it cozy. Okay, so we have this Marc Jacobs fragrance, and this is honey. When I got this, I was expecting like a honey gourmand, and I'm not really a gourmand lover, so I'm not really sure why I was looking for honey gourmand. But I had a body wash from Olay, the honey and shea butter, or shea manuka honey and something, okay, that Ribbons line. It was like the honey one, right? And I said, ooh, I like that smell. I need a perfume that smells similar to it, that gives me a similar vibe. And a perfume that gives me a similar vibe will have to be something that's honey gourmand. So I saw that Marc Jacobs honey, and I said, I am interested in buying that. So I was at TJ Maxx and ended up picking it up, and of course it's sealed and stuff like that and wrapped, so you can't smell it. So when I went in my car and I smelled it and realized that it was just straight up honeysuckle, I was so annoyed, okay? So I kind of let this sit for like a year or so, and I don't know if it necessarily changed, but my nose, I feel like, gravitated toward it a little bit more, and it became more of a freshy floral, okay? And the honeysuckle wasn't doing too much. But I paired this with Brooklyn Body's baby powder butter and oil. And this dude at the person that was across from me, like the person that like was servicing me at the Zales when I went to go pick up my mother's ring, was giving me a bunch of compliments. And I don't know if it's because my mom went off on him or something like that, but he was giving me like, oh, you smell good. What, how much is that? What did you wear? What are you wearing? And I told him, he said, oh yeah, I used to do perfume, and Marc Jacobs is very fragrant and blah, blah, blah. Girl, he had me feeling like I was like the star of the show. So yeah, I really like that combo. I am surprised that my dent is still right here. I feel like it should very much will be right here. Okay. But maybe I'm just not spraying it out because I know that like it's few and far between that I can get this. But yeah, I low-key kind of want to get the Dot perfume, especially once I start liking this one. I was like, ooh, let me get the Dot perfume. But I don't know. I would have to find it at TJ Maxx or Marshalls or Burlington or something. So this is where I am to the side. It seems about like a little bit either halfway or just a little bit above halfway, okay? This is where I am when I turn it this way. So I have a decent sized dent, like halfway. Okay, I have 7 fragrances. Don't know why it's taking me this long, but it's taking me a while. Okay, so I have this Watt perfume. I remember watching, what is her name? I ended up watching Chloe Yasmin's video of like somebody sending her, like one of her subscribers sending her like fan mail, or what is it? Not fan mail, like subscriber mail or something like that. And they end up sending her these Watt perfumes, and I was intrigued by the bottle. She had this one in a pink bottle, but I got this one because this is the one that I was interested in. And this is a little bit mature, but like not too much. And low-key, when I first spray it out, it gives me acetone, like it gives me nail polish, not gonna lie. But I don't mind it, especially like on like nighttime routines. I haven't really worn this out and about, but nighttime routines for sure isn't too bad. It's a little bit perfumey, but not too much. Like I said, that initial spray gives me very much so nail polish remover. So yeah, this is where I am with this dent. Girl, come on. Okay, yeah, this is where I am with this dent. Let me turn it this way so you can kind of see again. Yeah. We have Latafa Aura. And this one, this is where the dupe is. Let me also turn it this way. This is just like a 2.04 ounce. So it's not like that big. Okay. This fragrance is supposed to be a dupe of Baccarat Rouge 540. Don't know if it's the extrait or the original one, but that's the DNA that it's giving me. I think this is probably, like, I have a few dupes, okay? So, yeah. I think that this is supposed to just be the original one. Like I said, this is not necessarily my favorite DNA. However, this pairs well with different things. This pairs very well with different things, okay? So, yeah. Like I said, I've already shown you guys the Dents. This is the fragrance Aura. If you like this bottle, then you can get it from Latafa. I got it from Walmart because I couldn't find it for a while when it first became popular. Or it was actually one lady on YouTube called C Chronicles Talking Sense that talked about it, and no one else had talked about it at that time. And I looked for it, but I could only find it on Walmart's website. So now I think it's a little bit more accessible. I think you can find it on Amazon now. Also, like I said, with Baccarat Rouge 540, I have another fragrance that I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of, but it pairs well with other things a lot, okay? And I'm not going to say that I'm not going to ever purchase it again. I will in the future, but it's not going to be anytime soon, or at least it's not going to be like a big 3.4 fluid ounce bottle. But I have Lovely Cherie or Sherry by Maison Alhambra. They've switched this up. I think it goes by Love Spark now. And I don't know if you guys are able to see this because I'm not really able to see it. But the dent is like right here. Okay. So I'm trying to see if I can finish it by the end of the year because I'm almost there, but we'll see if I actually crank it out. Okay. We'll see. So this pairs very well with other things, and my most complimented dupe, well, my most complimented combination with these two are together, okay? And I didn't come up with this by myself. I happened to be on Oksha, and then that was when they first came out with a collaboration with Paul Reacts, which I don't know who that person is, but I think he's popular on TikTok. I don't have TikTok, so I can't really tell you guys if that's yay or nay. I don't know if it's YouTube or TikTok, one of those, okay? And I ended up seeing his fragrance. I don't remember. It's something girl. I don't know if it's Miss Girl, because I know he came out with a vanilla one, and then recently he came out with another fragrance that has like mango and then that vanilla one with a mixture of that vanilla one. But his very first one had a mixture of Baccarat Rouge 540 and as well as Lost Cherry from Tom Ford. And I said, why would I buy that when I have two dupes at home that I already am not the biggest fan of? I might as well do it myself because I don't want to have a whole nother fragrance that's supposed to be literally these two together. Like, that's not, it doesn't make sense to me in my head. So I decided to put these two together, and I ended up liking it, and a lot of people compliment me on it. So yeah, that's a good fragrance. So if you don't have these two, or you don't want to mix them, you want them already pre-mixed, girl, if it's still available on the Oksha website, go ahead and go. I know it was a pink bottle, but I don't know if it's still in stock though, or if it was a limited release. So yeah, we have N.I.B.Ed Poudre. Now this fragrance is one of those fragrances that is a little bit hard for me. It's not a terrible fragrance, and it's not like really like polarizing either. It's just something that's underlining in it that like throws me off. Like, it's an underlining scent that like kind of like makes me not want to like put it on. But a lot of people will like this. Some people have compared this to like a Narciso Rodriguez. Is it Rodriguez or Rodrigo? Narciso something, girl. Poudre, the Poudre one, but never smelled that one, so can't really tell you if that's true or not. But this one right here, like I said, is kind of like a powdery floral, but it's like something that's there that like throws me off. My mom, the first time I ever wore it, complimented me on it. I said, you like this? She said, it's not necessarily my favorite scent, like something I would wear, but I like it on you, right? So I feel as though I should be have a lot more of this completed, but I don't. So I feel like this is a decent enough dent. Then we have Coral, NIB at Coral from Lattafa, and I feel like I've used this a lot more than I even used the Poudre, and the Poudre I got like way before I got this one. Okay, so there's no reason why this one should have a bigger dent than that one. Honestly, it's about the same, but I still have more juice of the Coral out the way. Like, it's about the same, girl. Oh no. Okay, that's okay. That's good. This one has a bigger dent, so that's fine. But it's pretty neck and neck. And for me to have just got the Coral one this year, that one is supposed to be a dupe of Room 1015 Wave Child, and I low-key want to buy from them. I was going to get the Wave Child, but I literally have a dupe of it, so it doesn't make sense to get it again. But I am interested in getting Love-O-Matic. And since I low-key buy niche fragrances now and pay niche prices here and there, the price isn't really like deterring me anymore, even though it's under $200. Okay, so yeah. And then I have my last two fragrances. I done talked y'all's ear off. Hopefully y'all waited to the end, okay? But I have Ornament by Afnan. This is Perfume. This is basically what the dupe looks like. Not the dupe. This is what the dent looks like this way. This is what it looks like this way, as well as this way. Okay, it's a decent dent, but not like a huge one. This one is supposed to be a dupe of, I think, Olympia Intense. Don't know what the brand name is though. Not my favorite scent. Not my favorite scent. It kind of reminds me of Hairspray. Okay, then I have lastly for the dents is Rasasi's. The brand name is Rasasi, and this is from their Casamont line, and this is Rosanna. This is the blue one. This is the one that is more unisex, the most unisex in my opinion, and it also smells like it has citrus and it has leather in it. I think it's unisex, but I think it leans more masculine in my opinion. But this is where I am with this fragrance. Yeah. Okay, so basically that wraps up this video. Thank you guys for getting to the very end where I showed you guys all of the dents that I have that I felt like was decent enough for me to actually show you guys on camera. But before I leave, I did want to show you guys one fragrance. Another fragrance that I was talking to you about was the Viva More Dubai chocolate fragrance that they just recently came out with. I literally just got it in the mail, and I don't have it with me upstairs. I guess I walked upstairs without bringing it, and I don't feel like going back downstairs, so you guys aren't going to see that one. But I did spray it on the paper. I feel like with my skin, it kind of goes away pretty quickly, so I do kind of need to go ahead and let it sit for a little bit. But I felt as though on like the card, because they actually ended up giving me a sample, which I'm not used to. They gave me a sample of the exact perfume that I bought. So low-key, I wish they would have gave me a sample of another fragrance that I could have like liked and decided to buy. But on the card, it kind of gave me like I was getting very much a lot of the Kunafa as well as the pistachio. And how I know that it's pistachio that I was getting is because it has that yum pistachio type of DNA, that pistachio type feel, which is how I know that it was a pistachio that I was getting. The Kunafa, I've tried a few different Dubai chocolates, so I know what the Kunafa smells like. And Kunafa is not necessarily my favorite. Now, I felt like it had a underlining scent of the chocolate. Like I said, it needs to sit a little bit more because that chocolate scent may come out a little bit more. But I felt like it was well balanced with the vanilla that was in the base note to where it's not too chocolatey, because I do feel as though some chocolate fragrances I'm just not the biggest fan of. So if you like Choco Musk, I feel like you would have liked the Dubai chocolate fragrance that just came out from Viva More. Like I said, that's one of those fragrances that I would let sit for a little bit. But on the cart, it smelled pretty nice. Like it has a bergamot top. So I do like when fragrances, especially my gourmands, like have a bright citrus note at the top because it kind of breaks it up a little bit and doesn't feel uber gourmand. Okay, look at me acting like I really know what I'm talking about. Okay, anyways, so this is another Viva More perfume that I got right before the Dubai chocolate one, and this is Main Character. Okay, it took me a while to figure out what this said, but it's Main Character. Okay, and this is supposed to be a collaboration with Viva More and Scents. Let me show you what this one looks like. Now, I was a little bit scared on the notes on this one because at first I thought that when it's pink, they usually try to go rose, but this actually doesn't have any rose in it. This one has top notes of pear blossom, Italian bergamot, pink peony, white peach, and raspberry. Heart notes of French orris, Egyptian jasmine, and cotton candy, and base notes of velvet musk, vanilla beans, sandalwood, and caramel. I like how that sounds, okay? I just happen to be on the Viva More website because I've been interested in getting their Tea Temptation as well as Dubai Reverie. So I just went on there and I happened to see that they were having like a sign up for you to buy once it comes, like is actually going to be stocked. And I decided to go ahead and put my name on the list, and then they sent me an email and I was able to pick it up. From my understanding, this sold out within 12 hours. Don't know how true that is, but I would hope they're telling the truth. So this is what the fragrance looks like. Very cute, not rosy at all. Thank the Lord Jesus Christ. It does not have it in there. It doesn't have rose in there. It kind of smells like it's very light right now. And I'm not going to say, maybe I have things on, but I feel as though some of my fragrances, especially from Viva More, I just have to let sit for a little bit because it gets stronger. Because Tago Mago goes crazy. Okay. But I do enjoy this fragrance, and so far I haven't had any misses from Viva More. I feel like I prefer Viva More, the sister company, over Navitas, because Navitas, low-key, honestly, I've been having to have those things sit for 3 years before it really gets to where it's supposed to be. Like, I haven't had like a great experience with any of their fragrances right off bat. They always have to sit for a long, extended period of time. So yeah. That's the end of this video. Hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully I didn't talk y'all's ear off and y'all were interested in getting to the end of it. Okay? Don't forget to like, comment, and most definitely subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.